Hello and welcome to the Babbles Travelling Yarns podcast. I'm sitting at a super weird angle. Hi. And I am in my pajamas. Because I'm on nights tonight, so I want to go to bed straight after this and make myself sleep because I didn't last time and that was the worst idea ever. So that's not why you're here. You're here. I don't know why you're here. Hint, hint. Let's get started. Who am I? I'm looking out the window at the moment and there's a big bird. I think it's just a crow, but I'm going to imagine it's like an eagle or something. It's probably not. It's probably just a crow because I live in Ireland, in Limerick, on the west coast of Ireland. My name is Grace. You can find me as Vanna Willamille on Instagram and Ravelry. My business is called Babbles Yarns. You can find it on Instagram, and I'm also thinking of changing my Vanna Willamille name to Babbles Yarns and kind of amalgamating the two accounts. I don't know if that's even possible. I might just change it to Grace Babbles Yarns, because I think the Vanna Willamille thing is a little bit. It's a very old name from an old, you know, before I was a knitter, before I was anything. So I would like to keep it all under the same brand. That's the word, isn't it? Yeah, same brand. So let me know if you think that's a good idea. I think it is. I mean, people change their Instagram names and they don't lose. See, that's what I'm terrified of doing. I'm terrified of people might be lost, but you can change the name and not lose all your followers, right? Anyway, it's so that's my thought process. I'll probably do that this week if I think it's a good idea, but sure, I often talk about these things on the podcast and they never happen. For example, last week I was talking about the show notes were going to be on my website, on my blog. Ha 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 ha! What was I talking about? Giving myself more work? I'm not going to write blogs. That's stupid. I might. Very rarely, once every 6 months or 7 years, depending on when I feel like it. But yeah, the show notes are going to be back underneath this YouTube. So I had a giveaway, was it 2 weeks ago, for the pattern of this. This is the Mix and Match sweater by Mina Phillip. And sorry, it's a little bit wonky at the moment. I've been wearing it all the time. So this is the Mix and Match sweater. So I'm going to host a giveaway for this pattern. There's also a few kits for this fade design in my yarn shop at the moment. This is the burgundy fade. Whee! And I found these buttons. Don't you love them? I sure do. They fade perfectly. So the trick with buttons and button bands is that I like to put the button, the short row start here, sorry, but I like to put the buttonhole almost a third away from the side, and then so there's 2/3 left of the button band. Just because when you place the button in there, it kind of pulls. Sorry, the shawl collar is a little bit wonky. So it kind of, it pulls naturally kind of to the side. And this part stretches out and this part gets thin. So if you put them a third, you know, so you don't put the buttonhole right in the center, because if it was right in the center, your button would be over here and it looks like you've more space here. So just by the dynamics of having a jumper and a button, having it a little bit closer to the pickup edge is aesthetically more pleasing when you're with your final garment. Some things I've learned. So I've been wearing this jumper non-stop. This is the Mix and Match Cardi by Mina Phillip, who's the knitting expat, and I will have a giveaway on my Ravelry group, same as normal, same as I used to. So if you want to, oh dear Lord, the cat. Now I've rescued him from his castle of cardboard boxes. He loves cardboard boxes, as every cat does. So I have I had loads of things that I bought. This is Mr. Beans, by the way. Say hi, Mr. Beans. Hi, Mr. Beans. He's so cute. Yeah, so every cardboard box we get, I just pile up in a big tower, and he loves playing with them and batting them around. But it is a bit loud during a podcast, Beans. He's gonna run off and and destroy some stuff, so that's fine. That's what kittens do. Where was I? Oh yes, the giveaway for Mina Phillip. Yeah, so this is a mix and match cardie. It's available now. It's on Ravelry, but I am going to host a giveaway on Ravelry on my Facebook page. Now, no, not Facebook, on my Ravelry page. Words? Yeah, so I thought I would mention that. Thank you so much, Mina, for allowing me to test knit it, even though I didn't finish on time. But also, have one pattern to give away as well to my viewers. Thank you so much, Mina. You're the sweetest. Today I am drinking Assam tea with some lemon in it, in a big cup, which we just had. Is very boring, but it always reminds me of a time when we used to, after school, we used to go into town on Fridays and go into a coffee shop. And we used to think we were so cool and like, I don't know, for some reason it reminded me of being in Buffy. Ugh, the 2000s. The early 2000s. Yes, I'm young or old, depending on what age you are. Relativity. Now, so I've talked about the mix and match cardie. I've got a lot to talk about today, actually. I have been I've been doing some work on my Epic Along. So this is a KAL that I'm running for 6 months. Started it on the 1st of January. And it's basically anything that, it started off as knitting a sweater for your partner, something you've been promising for ages and you haven't. And then it kind of opened up into anything like big that you wanted to conquer this year in 2018, just to open it up a little bit. I'm such a sucker. People ask me, oh, I don't want to knit for my husband because he's blah, 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 or I don't have a husband, can I knit for myself? And I'm like, of course you can, I'm sorry, I don't want to exclude anybody. And I'm like, oh, I have no rules now. Whatever, anything big, it has to be big, it has to be a big thing, like a new technique, like if you're learning brioche for the first time, or if you've got a big project that you want to do Fair Isle all over Fair Isle or something like that, or knitting your first garment for yourself, a grown-up garment with full sleeves, you know, like a big garment. But to be honest, I'm such a pushover. Someone was like, oh, I'm knitting a shawl for the first time, does that count? I was like, oh, okay, fine. Chuck it all in, it doesn't really matter. But some people are really going overboard. They're spinning their own yarn and then they're making their own garments from it, and I'm like, my mouth drop. So some of you may remember I was doing the Vian, or sorry, the Nahani River Vest. So I cast on, I did the rib, then I took off the rib to test it, because Sockmatician did the same thing, and he got like a huge amount up and then tried it on and then realized it was huge. It was way too big. You had to go down loads of needle sizes. So that's not great. So I took it off and I tried it on James, and turns out I need to take it in by this manies. He is not that big, so this is the proper size for him instead of this extra thing. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take away a whole chart. I'm not going to change needle size. I'm just going to cut out a chart, because the chart is 24 stitches across, which is around about that much. Yeah, it's around 24. I think I counted 26 or something. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, beans? Why are you so giddy and crazy? So particularly noisy. Anyway, so I'm going to rip this out and do some calculations and see what the story is. Take my gauge from this and see where I'm going to go. So that's the story of my Epic Along. So this is a kit by Simply Shetland. They have the kit, and I bought it at Edinburgh Yarn Festival last year, and I'm using Jameson's Shetland Spindrift in loads of different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 different colors. So there's a lot of colors and there's a lot of work going into it, and I want to get it right. So I'm glad I tried it on the rib first. I'm glad I started the rib and then took it off and gave it a go. Thank you so much, Nathan, for that advice. You are a smarty pants. He went down loads and loads of needle sizes. I think I'm just gonna take out a repeat and see what I need to do for the sleeves and arms and all that. And I'm gonna just check out my your percentages, you know, for because I'll need to come up underneath the arms, and I'll need to just check to see if he needs more in the back than in the front. I need to work out the pattern really. So that's my story. Actually, that might even qualify for the Fruity Knitting altered garment along, where you're altering garments, you're changing changing sizes, or you're changing the type of yarn that you're going to use. Have a little look at their newest podcast to find out what that's about, because I alter every single garment I own, so it's a great cal for me. Oh, sorry. I wonder would the mix and match cardi count, because you can change so many things about it. You can do a normal collar instead of a shawl collar, but that's included in the pattern, so maybe not. It's kind of all done for you. And I think the altered garment, the idea of the altered garment cal is that you do your own calculations and you change it from that. So that is in my little bag from the Sostagrina that I made a little handle myself out of. My little basket, which Beans absolutely adores because it's a basket, he needs to get into it, you know. So I've got so much to talk about. Oh, blah, 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 blah. What did I talk about? Let's talk a bit about Edinburgh Yarn Festival, actually. Because I bought that yarn at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and actually I bought my next project, that sweater. Actually, there's 2 projects here that I'm working on with yarn from last year's Yarn Festival. So I've noticed a peak in views of my previous video that I did in 2017, Edinburgh Yarn Festival 2017. That's the name of it. And I think people are, sorry, I could keep in it, but whatever. I think people are getting ready for the Yarn Festival, and they're watching the videos from previous times just to kind of get a feel for it and get used to what the city's like and what the festival is like. So there are some really cool videos out there. This year, I want to try and capture the atmosphere a bit more. I feel like it was difficult to capture the atmosphere last year because it was so crowded. I didn't want to get in anyone's faces. But I do want to... If you have any particular questions about Edinburgh Yarn Festival that you would like to ask me, please pop them down in the comments down below, and I will seek to answer them if I can next week before we head off, because it's so soon. It's only like 3 weeks away. Oh my god, I'm so excited! So I also wanted to say that I was thinking about having a little meetup for Babblers. I've got a thread on the Ravelry group for people who will be interested in coming. I'm thinking on the Friday afternoon sometime. I don't want to clash with anyone doing anything, but it's impossible to please everyone. So I'm just going to say I'll come up with a clearer time and a space that we can meet up on the Ravelry group over there. But if you want to pop over there and say if you want to come meet me for like a chat at a designated time, so you know I'll be there and you won't be like missing me or anything like that, pop over to the Ravelry group and we'll have a chat about where I'll be and what to do. So it'll probably be about 1 or 2 o'clock on Friday. Yeah. Now, Edinburgh Yarn Festival is super, super busy, so finding a space is probably going to be a little bit difficult. So we're probably just gonna have like a hangout point somewhere, maybe out the front if it's a nice day. That might be nice actually, just to kind of get out of the madness of the morning and the craziness. So I'm so excited. Pop over to the Ravelry group anyway and let me know what you fancy. Now that is Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So yeah, let me know if there's anything that you want me to cover. specifically, if you're not going to be in Edinburgh Yarn Festival, if there's anything you'd like me to cover this time when I'm going to be there, and if you have any particular questions for me, pop them down below. I'd love to hear them from you. So I've covered the Epic Along. I also have started on Instagram. It's an Instagram only Cal knit along. It is a Paddy's Day Cal. So St. Patrick's Day is on the Saturday of Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I'm not going to be there because I'm going to go back home because my aunt's getting married. But I wanted to host a fun Cal. There's no finished object rule. This is the rules. These are the rules. You have to work with either green yarn, like it doesn't have to all be green, it has to have some bit of green in it, or an Irish Indie Dyer. And the Irish Indie Dyed yarn doesn't have to be green. That's the rules. Any bit of green or any bit of Irish. And the hashtag is Paddy's Day Cal on Instagram. Tag me in your videos. So if you tag me at Vanawillamille and then you tag the hashtag Paddy's Day Cal, you'll be entered to win a prize. And the prize is from an Irish dyer. This is Strand Designs. It is a self-striping yarn and it is called St. Patrick's Day. Actually, it's just called Patrick's Day. And it's Strand Designs. It's a self-striping yarn. It is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. It is 50 grams in this larger skein and 20 grams in this lighter kind of base color. So it's so cute. It's lovely. So that's going to be the prize, and the Cal is going to run for the entire month of March. So yeah, I'm kind of throwing out there supporting Irish Indie Dyers, and if people can't get their hands on Irish Indie Dyers, to knit with some green yarn or spin with green fibre or weave with green yarn or crochet. It doesn't have to be knit along, but it's just Cal for the sake of handiness. Maybe Cal could be craft with a K. So St. Patrick's Paddy's Day Cal. Ooh, can I just do a quick, sorry, I don't want to be this person, but St. Patrick's Day can be shortened to Paddy's Day, and that's kind of it. This is obviously my opinion, but what really grinds my gears is Patty's Day, St. Patty's Day. No, Patty is a girl's name, P-A-T-T-I-E. No, Patty's Day. Also St. Pat's Day. These are all my personal opinions. So it's St. Patrick's Day or Paddy's Day. There's no St. Paddy's Day either. It's St. Patrick's Day or Paddy's Day. You're formal or you're informal. Those are your two options. I have so many rules. Anyway, so this is the prize for the St. Patrick's Day Cal or Paddy's Day Cal. And yeah, that's exciting. So join in. Please do tag your videos or tag your Instagram pictures, Paddy's Day Cal, and tag me in it as well because I can find it. But I will be following that hashtag, and I'll pull at the end of March, which is the 31st of March. There's 31 days in March, isn't there? The end of March, I'll pull it then. So keep an eye on my Instagram account. Also, I am so close to 3,000 subscribers. I think there's I'm at 2,987 followers on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, pop over there and I'll have another massive giveaway. Giveaways! Because I love you so much. It's so exciting. Oh, can't believe that 3,000 people want to see my face. Well, not see my face, but like see what I do. And then my YouTube count is going up as well. I think it's going to hit 3,000 sometime in the next 4 months. I don't know. It could literally stall at 7,000 for a while. It doesn't matter about the numbers, Grace. Why are you thinking so much about the numbers? It doesn't matter about the numbers. Okay. Okay. Ooh, a laugh is strange. So that's my giveaways. Should we talk about the knitting? Oh my gosh, I'm like 20 minutes in and I haven't talked about knitting yet. I'm sorry. I have. No, I talked about my Epic Along whip. So the next whip that I'm going to talk about is my Paddy's Day entry. Yeah, that's a genius move. What a smooth segue. So I have my Paddy's Day in a orange bag, which is, you know, relevant because it's like green, white and gold. So, you know, it's part of the part of the Irish flag, although we are known for our greenness more than our orangeness. So this is a beautiful bag. It's a little kitty, black kitty bag from Manicory Creations. And it's so pretty. It's kind of Halloweeny and witchy, but also black cats are for every season. Don't you think? So inside I am knitting on my Vian sweater and my Vian cardigan. I'm terrified that Beans is gonna die from something. I'm trying not to let it show. I think I'm doing a good job. So this is the Vian cardi. This is my Edinburgh Yarn Festival cardi and my St. Patrick's Day cardi because it's the greenest green you've ever seen. So the back has this lovely lacy detail. It's just mesh. It's mesh. And I finally got a hang of the pattern. I do need the chart, which is only a tiny little chart actually. It's like, whoop, you know, it's just those tiny little bits. Just to remember which row I'm on because I'm the worst at counting rows. But I can follow it now. I can read my knitting. So I've gotten really far on this. So it was in the naughty corner for a long, long, long time. And now it's like a vest. Check it out. It's my vest. And I've been decreasing a lot. It's quite a form-fitting cardigan. It's quite a change from this oversized, cozy, comfy cardigan. But it's nice, it's light because Edinburgh Yarn Festival is hot. There's a lot of bodies in there. I really don't advise you wearing a big thick sweater. I know if you're probably in the middle of making a big thick sweater, it is inside, so be careful about that. So it's going to be super airy. The sleeves are going to be picked up. I think there's short row sleeves and they're only going to be 3/4 length because, oh look at that color though. Isn't that gorgeous? So the yarn is Phileas Yarns. Oh, do I have a tag? Yes, I do. So the yarn is Phileas Yarns. I got this as a second in her booth. She had like 5 of these. It's DK weight. She is Sylvie_Phileas Yarns on Instagram. And this is Tamagrout and it's wrong color 1, so there was like something wrong with it. It is 100% British Blueface Leicester and it is fabulous. Now, what I have noticed with this and with this yarn, so anytime that in some of the yarns, what's the word, you kind of get a slubby part. And what I think that is actually a join, and it's actually been air felted together instead of knotted, which I really appreciate because there's nothing worse than coming across a knot in the yarn. And I learned this when I went to the John Arbon mill, which I still haven't done the video for. A sad story in a minute about that. I'll tell you right now, half the footage got lost when I was doing at night and nights and I accidentally deleted half the footage. I will put up the rest of the footage, but I'm so sad that I've just deleted half of it. I'm so annoyed at myself. Anyway, he had an air joiner. So it's kind of like this thing. You put the 2 ends in and you put it like, it's like a stapler, but it's got this pressured air and it joins the yarn together. And I think this yarn has that join. So when the join is broken, I've only come across it like maybe once in per ball, and this is a second anyway, but it says that this was the wrong color. But so once per ball, I'd say there's like that sort of join, and what happens is, I don't know, you might be able to see it, you might not. There's like a little fuzzy bit. So I don't know, can't see it now. Beans, get off the curtains, for God's sake. This part here, that's a little fuzzy bit, but it's a million times better than a knot. That is not going to come out. Do you know what I mean? And my stitches aren't very even because I haven't blocked it yet. People always say, oh, your stitches are so even. even. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a loose gauge, so it's not going to be even on these. You know, my stitch definition is even on socks because it's a super tight gauge. So looser gauge, messier stitches, and that's totes fine. And also all of these kind of they're pearl back rows. There's a lot of purling in this. It's not so bad. I've kind of got over myself. I really want this cardigan and I really want to finish it, so I'm forcing myself. But soon the sleeves will be in just round stockinette, which is super nice. So isn't this color beautiful? Even if it is the wrong color, it's still gorgeous. And I haven't, can you tell actually? I didn't alternate skeins. I don't think you can tell. There's like this, is this flashing here? But I've been decreasing it like, oh, but like, there's no straight line across, is there? You can't tell on the mesh at all. Maybe it is a bit darker in this skein and then it's swapped around here. I love it, I don't care. I don't think you can see anything. Not noticeably. We'll find out when it's all blocked and I'll be like, oh, I should have done that. I think it's a little bit difficult to alternate when you're doing lace. No, it's not. It's just in my brain. I'm sure it's absolutely fine. But look how far I've come. And I got loads of these stitch markers in the Sisters Green shop, Sostra Grena shop, for like €1 for 50 of them. No, not 50, probably about 25, 30. And I love this lace at the, oh, I love this lace at the front. And I can't believe it's working out. Do you see that? It kind of stretches out then. I've got some buttons for it as well. Where are my buttons? I got buttons the same time I got these buttons. I don't know if they're going to work, but I really want to have the cardigan finished for Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and then if I find nice buttons in there, I might do that too. But these ones are cute. I kind of wanted something a little whimsical. I didn't know what color I wanted. On the pattern, she's got these white, like light color buttons. I don't know what actual color it was because I'm cheap. I don't have a color printer. But I've got these dotty buttons, and they're kind of like a mint green. If you can see that. So I think it'll work. And there's no buttonholes, but this whole thing is buttonholes, so I think it'll be cute. Anyway, if it's not cute, you can always replace buttons, which my friend Joanna from Opera Joe from Singing the High Notes, Stitching the High Notes. Why do I keep getting that wrong? Which she told me, and I was like, oh yeah. I don't have to make these decisions. I can always switch them out. Idiot. So yes. So yeah, Phileas Yarns, and this is the Vian sweater by Andy Satterland, and I'm using a size 5mm or 8 US Hiya interchangeables. Now I'm going to switch out these, and actually the next thing I need to do is start the ribbing on this because I finished the lace. I finished the body. No more lace! It's gonna go so much quicker. Here's hoping. Although ribbing, it's 1x1 rib. When should I do 1x1 twisted rib? Why would I do that to myself? Shut up, Grace. Now, carry on. So the next thing I want to talk about is my Ashling shawl, which I haven't really been working on that much, but I'll show it to you anyway. I made this a little bag in my first sewing class. Oh, yay, thank God. I was looking for this. I want to do, these shoulders are a little bit, they're pulling down a little bit because the weight of the sleeves and just the weight of the whole cardigan is kind of pulling off. I mean, there's plenty of this to keep me warm, you know, so it doesn't feel like it's falling off, but I want this to curl over a bit more. So I'm going to do a crochet reinforcement around the cast on edge with some spare yarn. This is the only part of the yarn that I have left. So this is, this is Aran Weight. It is a Blueface Leicester and Masham blend dyed by me. But yeah, this is the last yarn that I have left, so I'm going to do a crochet reinforcement around the inside of that. Yes, I found this, hooray! Right, put that somewhere that you're going to use. Boop. Right, so let's show you the Ashling shawl. I have no idea if I've even gone anywhere on this. I'll show you again. So this is my yarn, and so this is August Sunset and Sydney Spring. Sydney Spring is on my cotton socks base, which is 50% merino, 25% cotton, 25% polyamide or nylon, and then this is a merino sock, which is 75% merino, 25% nylon. So yeah, this is August Sunset and Sydney Spring. So they're both coming together in this really simple, oh my god, I stopped this halfway through. Carry on with your bad selves. So this is the Ashling shawl. It is a super simple eyelet and garter stitch alternated border situation business. And then at the end there's going to be a knitted on border, lace border. And I saw it first when I was up in This Is Knit in Dublin, a beautiful yarn shop. If you're planning on going to Dublin, you should head to This Is Knit and The Constant Knitter in Dublin, because they're both fantastic knitting shops. This Is Knit is actually hosting Woolen this year, which is the first ever Irish indie yarn event in the Republic of Ireland. Eek! So, and I'm vending, by the way. I'm gonna be there. Are you gonna be there? The tickets went on sale. You should go get them. You should go get them right now. Anyway, Justina Lakowska is going to be there teaching classes, so I thought I would do a pattern in some of my yarn. So if she comes by, I'll be like, "Hi, Justina! Oh my god, you're so cool!" So this is the sweater. I don't know if you can see it at all. Oh god, I think I've just shown you all the pattern details. What else? I'm sorry. Oh no, I haven't. This pattern, it just said the pattern is property of Justina Lakowska. Cool, yeah, awesome. It is the pattern of. So it's a crescent shaped shawl with a knitted on lace border. We'll see how I go with that. Now I think I'm going to do slightly less repeats, just to make sure I have enough yarn. There have been some discussion about not having enough yarn to do it, so I don't want that to happen to me. So I'm going to just reduce down. I think I'll just leave one repeat out, and then it'll still be big enough. I mean, it's a 2-color shawl. It's going to be big enough. So that's my little bad boy. I'll put them over there so I can say, I finished talking with them. Oh my gosh, no, I'll talk about that in a minute. I still have one more thing I'm going to show you. I haven't worked on it at all. This is a beautiful little bag that was given to me by Barbara from Knitting I Love. And Barbara surprised me the other day by showing up to the knit night that I host in Limerick, and she didn't say anything about it, and I was driving, and she put it on her Facebook feed saying like, I'm coming, I'm here for the first time, but I didn't see it until I walked in and saw her there and nearly had a heart attack. So I haven't seen her in ages, so it's really nice and surprised. Lovely surprise. But she had finished a beautiful shawl called the Frozen Mystery Shawl, by Nordic Stitches, from Lily from Nordic Stitches. So, but the biggest thing about it, for me obviously, was that she'd used my yarn. So she'd used Frozen, I was such an idiot and I didn't write the names of the colorways on the skeins when I gave them to her as a present. What a fool. So she knit the Frozen Mystery out of a beautiful grey, I'll call it beautiful, a beautiful grey called The Same Moon. And hi Beans. Oh no, don't stand on my laptop. Oh dear, it's all gonna go wrong. Oh, there we go. Now, he's chilled out a little bit, maybe we might. But I really recommend, I'm just gonna pop the link in the show notes to her video where she talks about it. It's really beautifully edited. She's got this music going on in the background. It's really nice. I really liked it. Well done, Barbara. Yeah, I like the small short videos that she does. She talks about the pattern and how, I think with her pattern also she ran out of yarn, and it seems to be just the thing with the 2-color shawls. Like, it really depends on gauge, but nobody does gauge swatches for shawls. But it is important because you could run out of yarn. So, but at the same time, if you're aware of that, you can kind of cut back. But for the Frozen Mystery shawl, I think it was all just done on the border, you know, so you could just pull back that last 2 rows and just knit and just cast off there, do you know? But for the one that I'm doing, the Ashling, I really want to be careful with that one because it's a knitted on border. So you knit the shawl in a crescent, and then you all the stitches are still on, and you start knitting over this side, and you knit 2 stitches together every time you finish 1 row, and you're kind of moving down the edge of the shawl. And if you run out of yarn here, you still have half the shawl to go, and you're like, oh crap, I have to rip out all that lace work. So I've got to be super careful of that. So I'm going to definitely reduce down a little bit. So I want to have that as a sample for my shop in Woolen, which is going to be in May. I'll put all the details down there as well. So this is a little shawl that I'm going to have probably as a backup, as a very easy knitting shawl. Now this yarn was given to me by the amazing, the wonderful Tracy from Nora George Yarns. I screamed at her loudly in the queue for Edinburgh Yarn Festival last year, and she gave me some yarn. Tracy, that's not the way you're supposed to treat people who scream at you, just so you know. Just, you know, for your own safety. I'm thinking of your own safety. But she said like the first 3 or 4 people to come up and meet her at Edinburgh Yarn Festival to come and pick her out got free yarn. So I think I'm going to totally do that in Edinburgh Yarn Festival as well. So, and also I hopefully will have my enamel pins by then. So come up and see me and say hello, and you might get treats. So this is Thistle in her Donegal tweed base. Donegal. Let me say that again. Everyone together. Donegal. Very nice. Now, so this is the Hitchhiker. I am doing the Hitchhiker on like, I think it's a hat needle, and it's beautiful. It's this gorgeous green and purple, and it's the Edinburgh Yarn Festival 2017 Nora George Yarns colour. So at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, this will be great for the knit nights and for meeting friends, for coffees and teas and stuff like that. So I've started it, and hopefully I'll remember how to do this edgy bit. Can't be that hard. I can't remember how to do it at all. I think there's a bit where you're supposed to do like knit right to the end and you're not supposed to slip it. You're supposed to knit it again, and that makes a little sharper tooth, and I don't think I did that up here. Meh. Anyway, whatevers. So I've got this in Barbara's little bag that she sewed me, and I've got her lovely little what's it called, keychains on here to tell me what's in here. So this is a shawl, and on the other side she's got her tag and a little picture of a shawl wrapped around a neck. Oh, it's so cute. So thank you so much, Barbara, for that lovely video, for knitting that lovely shawl out of my yarn. My heart breaks every time, like in a good break. There's no good break for heart break, is there? My heart sings. There you go. Oh, that sounds lame. Now, so I have got one more. Do you remember these? This is the Strand Designs, which is the same as the yarn that I'm going to give away. I think there's 3 colours in that St. Patrick's Day colourway. So this is a 2-colour skein, and this is Pretty Little Disaster. I have one of her other ones. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I'm in love with these. I did this as an afterthought everything sock, so I basically just knit a huge long tube and then cut it in the middle and knit the toes, and I have not done my heels. And I need to leave these out because this is ridiculous that I have not done the heels. It is the most beautiful yarn, the most beautiful colours. I need these on my feet. Yeah, so I just needed to show them to you to make myself accountable for that business. No. So I have beans is sitting right here. Oh, he's so cute. He's heartbreakingly cute. So I'm just going to show you really quick my new socks without waking up Beans and getting him out of the way. Anyway, so these are my new socks. They are done in my country Christmas colorway. I have two of them. There's one over there. I did an afterthought heel on these ones. I knit two together, and they were my cinnamon knitting for a long time. So I just kind of knit past the point of where I should put in the heel. So then I knit them as far as I thought I needed them to be. And then I put in the toe, which is just a normal kind of rounded toe. And then I went back in and I did the afterthought heel. Now, pardon me. I forgot to do an important part of the afterthought heel, which is when you're picking up your stitches all the way across. You pick up the top, so you pick your row where you're going to cut and you put a little stitch marker in there. And then you pick up all the stitches across on one side on the top row, and then you pick up, come on lungs, play ball. And then you pick up below that little stitch. So there's lots of different tutorials you could watch about that. But when you're unpicking that center part, so you cut that stitch, you got the stitch marker in. When you're unpicking that stitch, you don't unpick right to the edge. And I forgot to do that on here. Sorry, I've just coughed myself silly and I cut all of that out. But that's why I'm all like super like emotional about afterthought heels right now. So just right here, there is a little hole. And that's because I ripped right to the edge. I shouldn't have done that. I should have left 2 stitches in and then knit around and included that yarn. So yeah, anyway, my mistake. I won't do that again. I won't do that with those lovely stripy socks. Now Beans. Beans is still there, everybody. I love these pajamas. They're like old man pajamas. Now, I don't care if that's inappropriate. It's my podcast. I'll do what I want. I cut my finger. It's really sore. Beans, kiss my finger. No, don't do that. That's gross. Now, I've lost the plot. I lost it a long time ago. I never had a plot. This is my dream knitting. So I cast off a pair of socks. Well, no, before I start on these, I'm going to finish off those heels. I've not finished those yet. So, but they're off the needles. So I've got this yarn and it's Paddy Cal, right? It's green. And this time last year, I was traveling back from Australia, from Tasmania, and I stopped off in New York. And I got this amazing piece of work. This is Yarn Over New York, designing in Harlem, New York City, yarnovernewyork.com. This is March holiday. It's Patrick's Day. March holiday. There is no better time to cast these on. So I'm going to cast these on probably in on the 1st of March. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So this is Times Square sock yarn, twin gradients, fingering 4-ply, 75% merino, 25% nylon. And I bought these in Knitty City in New York when I went, just before visiting Mina actually, when Layla was just born. I think she was only a couple of weeks old. Gosh, she was so small, Mina. And now she's 1. Oh. Anyway, aren't these the cutest? March holiday, everybody. That's going to photograph so pretty, isn't it? Lovely. I'm really excited to cast these on, but I got to finish those other ones first. Rules. And I have them in Mina's bag. Memories. Yeah. That's that. I knit my country Christmas socks quite tight. I think I only had 56 stitches on, and that was the first time I'd knit a 56 stitch sock for myself. They're actually fitting perfect. I thought they were too tight. especially with the Afterthought heel, it was pulling a little bit across my arch, but I don't notice it now, which means it's really good, which actually means they fit me, because all my other socks are bagging out. They're a bit too loose on me. Socks, especially hand knit socks, need to be tight because they need to stay up and they loosen over time, etc, etc. Words. I think I've done all the knitting. I've done a lot of knitting, haven't I? Let's come closer. I want to lie back a little bit. So, oh my god, I didn't notice that was sideways. 1 second. That's a bit better. So, what should I talk about now? Spinning or weaving? I finished kind of another little part of a project. So you remember this horrible graveyard yarn? So I made a little purse out of it. A little, what's that called? Magnetic seal purse with a little lining. And I also weaved a strap for it. So I still had a ton of that warp on that yarn, on that loom that I cut off live on the podcast. So I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 22. I took 22 of the warp threads and I made a strap out of it. So I wove with some cotton so that you can see it a little bit in the wider parts. And I wove quite tightly to pull it across. So this is actually a warp faced material. So I wanted a nice strong strap to have on the side of my bag. Now I don't know how to add these. I don't know whether to unpick the binding here and put it inside and sew like a cross, or just go with the fringe business and do like a little cross there and have the fringes down, or maybe down there. I don't know, I'm not much of a fringe person, but I don't know. I might do something like that, leave the fringes on both sides. Depends how long I want the strap, I suppose, doesn't it? Could this be a thing? I don't know. Anyway, it's part of my learning curve. So that was cool. So the main thing about weaving a strap like that, or band weaving, or braid weaving, or belt weaving, is that you don't use your heddle to bash it down, because the heddle threads, you know, all of your threads are coming from quite far away down to a narrow part. So you actually use the shuttle to push it down, to seal it into place. And that's basically the only difference. And you use a thinner thread as the weft and thicker threads as your warp, so that you get this warp facing, which is pretty. So I'm still on my double weaving. I'm getting there very slowly. I had an incident. Mr. Beans was playing and I think he was biting something. Anyway, I kicked the loom up and my pickup sticks fell out. So I got really cross and I covered it with a blanket and I forgot about it for 2 weeks. But I picked it up yesterday and I put the pickup sticks back in. And here we go again. So, so these are the pickup sticks. There's one on the top and then there's one on the bottom. It took a while to figure out where they needed to go. There's a bit of fiddling around and foostering around because the threads, as we go through the warp, the tension isn't perfect. So it was a bit annoying to try and get it right. So these are basically just sitting here. You know, they can slide in and slide out. You know, they can slide in and slide out really easily. So they can just fall if it tilts, which is annoying. But they do allow me to do the double weave. So that's the top part, and then these heddles move up and down. And yes. So what I found with the double weaving is when I'm winding on, what the double weave means is that I'm weaving two fabrics, one on top of the other, and it's joined at one side. It's joined at this side over here, so that it is going to, it's joint, trust me, it's going to fold out and become twice the size. So here we go. Anyway, so when I'm winding on the bottom part, I don't know if you can see that. So the bottom layer of fabric kind of rolls on less, so that the bottom section is a little higher than this section. I don't know how that's going to end up. The tension is going to be a little bit wonky. I think one side is going to be a little bit tilted. We'll see. Anyway, it's a learning process. So I still have quite a bit to go, I think. How many? So I put in one of these cardboard things every round. So I have 1, 2, 3, 3 more rounds to go. So a round is normally about, oh shit, sorry, excuse my language there. Oh, fridge, this is how I managed to mess up the last time. I tilted it to the side and then everything comes out. Stressful. Let's do this. Hey, that's much better. Oh, Grace. So, yeah, each round gets smaller actually as this side goes down, as this side has less on it. So the round is about as thick as normally, around on average around as wide as what I'm weaving here, this section. So three more of this size. So I'd say about, I don't know, let's overestimate 20 inches. And I'll get there. I can do about 10 inches a day without getting sick of it. So if you see that reed, it's got lots of different sizes of heddle. And so when I was unpacking the rigid, this is the Vari-Dent reed, so you can change your density. However, it doesn't actually give you enough in the Vari-Dent reed. You actually need 2 Vari-Dent reed sets to have all of these make one whole reed, make one whole heddle. So this one at the back is a 7.5 and that's the one that comes with it. So I wanted to match this one. So what I did was I used the 7.5s here. This is a 7.5 reed, the same as the back one. And I got this double one, which is 7.5 is 14 or 15, I think it's 15. And I just use every second hole. So it kind of, you know, it's the same density and it weaves up fine. If you see that, there's no change in the weaving there. So it worked out, which is great. I think it's called like calculating, you know, it's like adapting your reed. So you can put you can thread through less of the holes to get the same as a larger hole reed. So it's great. Yeah, so that is my double weaving. I can't wait to get it off the loom because I just want to get weaving again with, I want to do some more belts. I think they'd be nice. I want to do some more belts on my small little one, which I'm renting off the Guild. Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about my spinning. So I have been, at the weekend, I went up to County Clare again. If you want to go back, you can see a video of where I went up to Clare to an alpaca farm and we had to play with the alpacas and we all sat and with our spinning wheels in a beautiful house that Valerie owns in County Clare, and we all got together, brought food and talked about spinning and knitting, and it was absolutely lovely. It was a really lovely day of traditional craft. And yesterday I brought my friend Terry up from my Cottage Number 9 on Instagram, and she also has an Etsy shop where she makes amazing bags. They're so stunning. She's making travel kits in the moment. I'm like desperate for them because I'm like, Edinburgh Yarn Festival, I need all like, I'm like, no, save your money and then buy it for your mum and then you'll feel better. And I was like, and they'll be in the house then so I can use them and rob them. I'll pop the details of her shop down below so you can have a little look. Ugh, stunning stuff. So Valerie has a drum carder for her alpacas. So I was playing with some fibre that I had, some Romney, and I got 2 bats out of it. I totally overfilled it the first time, so I split it in half and just put it through again. So it's a kind of, the drum carder has a new piece of the teeth fabric with the teeth on it. It's grey. And I think the colour, there's a colour issue on it. So this is the fibre. Let me just show you off the sheep. So this is fibre that I swinted. So I got it straight off the sheep. I put it in a box of water. It's supposed to be rainwater, but I got tap water because it wasn't raining because it was summertime at the time. And I left it outside. And I didn't do anything to it. I put a lid on it. I should have put a black bag around it. The sun is not supposed to get to it. And then my appendix just, you know, inconveniently decided to do its thing. So I had to go in for surgery, and I wasn't able to lift a big massive thing of water to like empty it out. So it sat there for weeks. It's only supposed to sit there for a week. But I rinsed it out, and it doesn't smell. It's beautifully clean. Like, it's so fluffy and clean. Like, that's just a little bit of black fluff. But there is a little bit of what's the word? You know, dirt, like a little bit of grease left. But that helps with the spinning. So, but it's no way what it was like. And so this is Romney. It has a bit of a crimp. Not anything like merino. Merino is a very, like, really, really, really high crimp. This is a medium crimp, I would say. Lock. These are locks that are sheared off. So the tip, and this is the cut end. This cut end is super light. So I carded these using my hand carders, and that's what I was getting from those. Then I carded them with Valerie's carder. So you see the colour is a little bit different, and she thinks that's from the carding machine, the carding fabric. But I think once it's washed, it'll come up bright white again. So this is the carded fabric, or carded fibre. So I'm going to spin off of that. I'm excited. So I'm going to take strips off it like this, and then spin from the top like that. Have fun! And I'll see what that looks like. So, oh, it smells so sheepy. Oh, that's the good stuff right there. Yeah, baby. It gets inappropriate now. So back to, I have been spinning with dyed fibres, kind of commercially dyed fibres for a while, so it'll be nice to get back to the sheepy stuff. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, my spinning, my weaving, and my knitting. What else shall I talk about? Oh, yes. So I went into town last week on a day off on Monday, I believe, and I ordered this book. I did not realize it was so huge. This is such an undertaking. Holy moly. It was about 30 euros, 31 euros, something like that. And it is a book written by Deborah Robeson and Carol Ecoris. Oh God, words. So that's who wrote it. And I remember I used to be a Patreon of Fruity Knitting, and they did an amazing one-to-one, or not one-to-one, but like a meeting, like a live chat with Deborah Robeson. I had to come off the Patreon because my funds changed and I needed to adjust a few things, but it was really wonderful when I was a Patreon. I would really recommend doing it. But this book is fascinating. If you're interested in spinning, if you're interested in breeds and wool, it's the Bible. It has so many. So it has sheep, goats, alpacas, llamas, vicuña, camels, bison, musk oxen, yaks, and more. So all the fibers. And look at this on the map of the world. It shows you where all the different animals come from. So obviously camels and musk oxen are there, and yak here, I suppose. I can't see it. And then the different sheep breeds have a little bit more detail in Europe, the UK, and Australia, New Zealand. I didn't know Corriedale. No. Yeah, I didn't know Corriedale was a New Zealand breed. Isn't that cool? I love this. I love a map. Big fan of a map, lads. Big fan. So I found out a sad story. There's only one native sheep breed left in Ireland. It's called the Galway sheep. Let's find it. Oh, Romney. Oh, let's talk about Romney though. Hang on, because that's the one I have. Oh, this is the sheep. This is a Romney sheep. Oh, cute. Very mucky, that one. So, using Romney, this fleece takes dye well and clearly. Yellow staining or brittle sun-bleached sheep may affect dyed colours. Consider overdyes on the natural colours. Card, flick, comb or spin from clean locks, or because of the low grease content, spin a freshly shorn fleece in the grease. Fleece in the grease. And dark fleeces, so they obviously change lots of colours. Watch for sunburn tips that can break off and make lumps in your yarn. Some white fleeces have yellow portions or canary stain that may or may not wash out. Romney is versatile and the wool is good-natured as the sheep who grow it. Aw, play and see what you come up with. Romney yarns can be used for a wide range of applications, from sweaters, mittens, caps, shawls to their cushions or rugs. Choose the finer fleeces for clothing and the coarser ones for upholstery or floor coverings. Romney is usually not a next to skin fibre, but a fine, perhaps lamb's, carefully prepared fleece may pass the test for some people. Before making a garment that will rub against base skin, make a swatch and test it against the back of the neck or the wrist. It's a high yield wool clip, easy to spin and very lustrous. Lovely. So, fibre diameter. Oh, in North America, it's 29 to 36, New Zealand 33 to 37, and Britain 30 to 35. So, interesting. So, I love this book so much. It's fascinating. These are all the different types of colours that Romney can come in. And she does a knitted swatch and a woven swatch. Oh, the amount of work that went into this book is cray cray. But yeah, the Galway sheep is the only sheep that we have left in Ireland. And let me see if I can find it in here. Oh, it's so cute. Sorry, every sheep is cute to me. This is the Galway sheep. Oh, it looks so fluffy and neat. I'm sorry, Bean. Sorry, I woke him up with my glee. At one point in history, Ireland probably had a fair number of native sheep breeds, but today the Galway is the only breed you might consider a native, though it was largely influenced by the English Leicesters. The breed was once called the Roscommon, although in actuality there was an earlier Roscommon that was more like a grandparent of the Galway. Oh, there's a whole history of it. Oh. Some will be suitable for next to skin, if not luxury wear, and some will be slightly coarser. Not very well known, it's a lovely white with more density and heft than most comparable wools. 26 to 32 microns. That's good. So a superfine merino can vary between 14 and 18, but it feels like a, you know. Cute. So that's nice. I think this is a book that you need if you're a spinner and you somehow get hold of fleeces, which by the way happens. The second you become a spinner, you will get bags of fleeces dropped on your door and everyone thinks you want them as well. And you're like, thanks, but there's a lot of work to fix them and make them nice and tidy, like. Because wool is no longer worth anything to the farmers. It costs more to get them sheared than it does to get them to get the wool taken away. Like, it's crazy. So you might need this book if you become a if you become a spinner, because the wool will appear in vast quantities. Vast. Yeah. So that is a lot of talking. I've done a lot of talking, and let me just check to see if I've done all the talking I need to talk about today. I wanted to do actually 2 recommendations for this podcast. So I have found actually just one, because I spoke about Barbara and her frost and her finished object video previously. So that was my other recommendation. You could watch her because, you know, it's so nice. It's my yarn. Anyway, so another podcast that I've just found just found, I can't believe it, Helen Whiteley. She is the Irish knitter on YouTube, and she's only 3 episodes in, and she's a fantastic knitter. Oh my gosh, she's on her Zweig at the moment, and it is gorgeous. She has a really subtle color preference. Yes, that's the word. And it's lovely to chat, lovely to hear another Irish accent on the webs. She is from the Midlands. That may or may not be true. I'm just going to leave it there. She's from Ireland. Helen, I love your podcast. I'm really glad I found you. And yeah. Yay, Irish podcasters. So if you like the Irish accent, if you like Irish knitters, if you like hearing about what we're doing over here, pop over to her and subscribe. And she'll love you for it. And I'll love you for it. Yippee. Now, I talked about my whips, I've talked about Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Oh, there's also a new festival in Ireland. It's the West Cork Yarn Festival, and it's being run by the Sixpence Moon. It's taking place on the 24th and 25th, or the 25th and 26th of June. Whatever's the weekend there. It's going to be taking place in Bantry, and I'm so interested in it. It's fascinating. So head over to the Sixpence Moon's Instagram account. Who's actually, I think her shop is called Moon and Sixpence. She's an Irish indie dyer who's based down in Cork. So she's starting up this little yarn festival in June, which is so exciting. I'm hoping to be there, but I've got a night shift that I need to move around and get out of. So fingers crossed that I can do that, and then I can come down. I'm so excited. Yeah. So I'm going to talk a bit about the yarn that's going into my shop this weekend. It is, if you're not interested, that is totally fine. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at what I've been doing, and I'll see you all next week. If you are hanging around to have a look, oh my goodness, I need to show you something that I've totally forgotten about. 1 second. Oh my gosh. So I got a really amazing parcel in the post. I have sent away a lot of my wool to testers, and I have got a couple of pieces back. This one is so cute. So I sent away my Spice colorway on my merino sock base. Let me show you. This is my Spicy Spice. So you've got little flecks of browns through there on a pumpkiny tan base. And I sent away 2 skeins to my friend Corelia in Norway, and she designed this cutest little thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, it's so adorable. Oh my god, the light has gone blue. This is the correct color, but I feel like if it takes over too much, the light adjusts and de-yellows it. But I love it. I love it. Look at these little cables on the sleeves, and the little cables on the front. It's the cutest thing. And then she's got cables around the end as well. It's the most adorable thing. So this came out of 2 skeins of the fingering weight base, which is 400 grams. Oh my god, it's the most adorable. Look at this tiny little clasp. I love this. So this is going to be a sample in my shop. And hopefully, Corelia, I need the pattern for this so I can sell it with the thingy. So I need to cut you in on this deal. But it is the most adorable thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. Baby clothes are the best. I need to knit up a set of baby clothes. Isn't that so cute? Like, that'd be adorable for, I mean, a little girl because I think it's cables, but a boy as well because that's Spice color. You know? Anyway, I would say that, wouldn't I? But she also sent me 2 little birdies. Now, one of them belongs to Beans because he got into the parcel and he took the little birdie because he's obsessed with little birdies. But look at this little bird of happiness. So this is going to be coming with me to the festival in Woollen. Ooh, which I also found the the leaflets for. So woolen, that's upside down, Grace, rude. So woolen, it is on the 25th, Friday the 25th to Sunday the 27th of May. And it's going to be in the Alsa Sports and Social Complex on the Old Airport Road in Dublin Airport. So literally it's a 10-minute walk from the airport if you fly in from England or Europe or America or Canada. Hashtag just saying. There are so many events. Have a look over at the Instagram. So many amazing teachers. There's still classes available. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Do you know what I'm really excited for though? Johnny Shields is going to be there on the Saturday. Johnny Shields is an Irish spinning wheel maker. He's the only Irish spinning wheel maker left in the country, and he is... I need to ask him all the questions. Is that my phone? No, because you're my phone. Next door. It's next door. I was like, where's my phone? I'm filming on it, Grace. Such a fool. So woolen. If I just put that there. I'm so excited for this. I'm terrified but excited. So my little birdie friend, the one that's not Mr. Beans's friend, is going to be joining me on the booth. Maybe they'll both come. So cute. Gotta hide it from Beans because he loves his little birdie friends. So thank you so much, Corellia. Oh my God. So yeah, there is, I think there's only one color left of this in the Spice colorway. So cute. I think there might be another one. It's on my Etsy site anyway. So I'll just pop a quick through some of the ones that are left. So this is August Skies, which is what I'm using in my August Sunset, sorry. This is in Merino Sunset. My merino sock. Oh gosh, that light. Let me just fix this. The sun has decided to be super shiny. Now, these are some of the colors that are going to be in. This is Ivy. Oh, that's so nice. This is Aura Dip, which has a little bit more of peachy tones in the tan part here, and little speckles, very delicate, subtle speckles in there. This is Aurora. There's lots of that left actually. This is one of my Sydney Spring, which is what I'm making my, oh, that one's really nice. This is what I'm making my Ashling shawl out of. Really nice shawl actually. This is Terracotta, which is a bright orangey. It's more orange than red. I have got a Ray. I've got a sample actually made out of my Ray colour and the terracotta. And guess what it is? The Wonder Woman shawl. Thank you so much, Michelle. Ah, this is Deep Down. I love this colour. It's my blues and greens. It's my happy place. This is a Frankenskein. I love this green. This kind of fades into forest over there. Lovely. This is spring. Something about spring. I need to learn my words. I need to learn my own colorways. I think because I'm still starting, I'm learning what colorways I want to keep and what colorways I don't. So there is a very real chance that these will never be dyed again. So if you do like anything, pop on over and find out what you like. Now I've got lots of Deep Down actually. This is a very subtle aura that I've got in. Oh, this is Linger. I'm sorry, this is Linger. This is from an update that I did just around the time of the lead singer of the Cranberries, Dolores O'Riordan, who is from Limerick, who went to my school. These were named when I was naming and taking all the photos. I was listening to the entire Cranberries backlog, and I just fell in love with this colour. I was watching the videos, and there's lots of these kind of watery colours in the background of that video of Dolores singing Linger. I have got some of my cotton bases down here. So this is Pinky in Bless Your Cotton Socks, and this is Mist, which is a very light green, very faint light green. I have a garment that I'm going to be knitting for Woolen out of Justine Lukowska's pattern. It's the Nogat colourway, which is going to be made out of something very similar to this. The base is actually a nettle base. I would love to get some, but I got it off a friend, so I don't know the base yet. If anyone knows where I can get some nettle fibre, I've got some nettle fibre coming in from India, but I need to sort out dyeing that. I'm not sure. It's more suitable to weaving rather than knitting. I've got one Calypso left. The Calypso is the colourway that I gave to Mina for one of her sock clubs, so that's going to be coming out in August, so I need to make some more for that. Oh, look at that green, that acidy green coming into the purple. Love that. I have got some blush, which is a very pale tan on my cotton socks base. A very pale kind of creamy colour, creamy, more than tan. And then I've got a denim, where's my denim? Which is actually a blue. I've not called it denim anymore. What did I call it instead? Hail. I think I called it Hail. So it's slightly, it's more of a green. This is a green and this is a blue. And a blush. And a pinky. This is my pastel kit, very spring summery. I think they'd be a lovely little top or something. I have got one big kit. This is a DK weight sweater's worth of a gradient set. So the option is to buy 8, and then if you want to buy a bigger garment, you can add on 2 more skeins, and they'll be the darker skeins that I would add on, because they're all pretty much the same. These 3 at the end, they're around the same shade, so it would match. Gives you an option to fade whatever you like. Oh, and it's the same, obviously the same colorway that I'm wearing right now, but it's DK weight yarn instead of Aran weight or worsted weight. So that's what's in the shop this weekend. I hope you have a gorgeous weekend. I hope it's sunny and nice. Actually, it's Sunday now, so the weekend is probably over. I hope you have a lovely week. We're going to get some extra hard snow, I've heard. I'm going to stay cuddly. I'm working tonight, so I have Monday off. I'm going to be cuddling in bed with beans on my day off. I'm going to be knitting my little bum off. I'm going to try and be finishing off the body of the Vian sweater. Finish those socks and reinforce this steek. That's what I want to have done. Yeah, so I really hope you have a lovely week. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast, and I know that there's more I wanted to tell you, but as usual, this is not the most organized thing in the world, and that's totally fine. So I love you lots. I can't wait to see you all in Edinburgh. Let me know what you're looking forward to. Please comment, please like and subscribe if you do like and want to see more of me. And yay, I love you lots. Bye.